The Mysterious Tadpole by Kellogg. Uncle McAllister lived in Scotland. Every year he sent Louis a birthday gift for his nature collection. "This is the best one yet!" cried Louis. The next day he took his entire collection to school for show and tell. "Class, this is a tadpole," said Mrs. Shelbert. She asked Louis to bring it back often so they could all watch it become a frog. Louis named the tadpole Alphonse. Every day Alphonse ate several cheeseburgers. Louis found that he was eager to learn. When Alphonse became too big for his jar, Louis moved him to the sink. After Alphonse outgrew the sink, Louis' parents agreed to let him use the bathtub. One day, Mrs. Shelbert decided that Alphonse was not turning into an ordinary frog. She asked Louis to stop bringing him to school. By the time summer vacation arrived, Alphonse was enormous. "He's too big for the bathtub," said Louis's mother. "He's too big for the apartment," said Louis's father. "He needs a swimming pool," said Louis. "There's no place in our apartment for a swimming pool," said his parents. Louis suggested that they buy the parking lot next door and build a swimming pool. "It would cost more money than we have," said his parents. "Your tadpole will have to be donated to the zoo." The thought of Alphonse in a cage made Louis very sad. Then, in the middle of the night, Louis remembered that the junior high had a swimming pool that nobody used during the summer. Louis hid Alphonse under a rug and smuggled him into the school. After making sure that Alphonse felt at home, Louis went back to bed. Every morning, Louis spent several hours swimming with his friend. In the afternoon, he earned the money for Alphonse's cheeseburgers by delivering newspapers. Meanwhile, the training continued. Alphonse learned to retrieve things from the bottom of the pool. Summer vacation passed quickly. Louis worried what would happen to Alphonse now that school had reopened. As soon as the first day ended, he ran to the junior high. The students were getting ready for after-school activities. Louis arrived just as the first swimming race began. Alphonse was delighted to see all the swimmers. "It's a submarine from another planet," bellowed the coach. "Call the police! Call the Navy! No, it's a tadpole!" cried Louis. "He's my pet." The coach was upset and confused. "You have until tomorrow," he cried, "to get that creature out of the pool." Louis didn't know what to do. On the way home, he met his friend Mrs. Sievers, the librarian, and he told her his problem. Miss Sievers went back to the junior high school with Louis. But when she saw Alphonse, she was so shocked that she dropped her purse and the book she was carrying into the swimming pool. Alphonse retrieved them. Then Miss Sievers telephoned Louis's Uncle McAllister in Scotland. He told her that he had caught the little tadpole in Loch Ness, a large lake near his cottage. Miss Sievers said, "I'm convinced that your uncle has given you a very rare Loch Ness monster." "I don't care," said Louis. "He's my pet, and I love him." He begged Miss Sievers to help him raise enough money to buy the parking lot near his apartment so he could build a swimming pool for Alphonse. Suddenly, Miss Sievers had an idea. "In 1639, there was a battle in our city's harbor," she said. "A pirate treasure ship was sunk, and no one has been able to find it. But perhaps we can." The next morning, Miss Sievers and Louis rented a boat. In the middle of the harbor, Louis showed Alphonse a picture of a treasure chest. Alphonse disappeared under the water. Louis and Miss Sievers bought the parking lot. They hired some helpers. And when the pool was completed, all the children in the city were invited to swim. That night, Louis said, "Alphonse, next week is my birthday, which means that we've been friends for almost a year." Far away in Scotland, Uncle McAllister was also thinking about the approaching birthday. While out hiking, he discovered an unusual stone in a clump of grass and sticks. "A perfect gift for my nephew," he cried. "I'll deliver it in person." Uncle McAllister arrived at Louis' apartment and gave Louis the present. Louis couldn't wait to add it to his collection. Suddenly, a crack appeared in the stone. The end.